listening to the Good Sports Triple SFM, and of course Paul Langham up at Darwin for Valley Travel. Let's go to him. Good afternoon, Paul.
Yeah, good afternoon once again, Greg, and I'm up here in the broadcast box with Brian Blackmore, who'll be calling all the action for us on Triple S and the Racing Network today. Hello, Brian.
G'day, Paul. Good to see you again.
Likewise, mate. I was just talking to you off air. 10 years this is for you coming to Darwin.
Seems like only yesterday I came up here for the first time. I won't beat John Russell's record. He's 26 years, but 10 years, and I'm enjoying it more every time. I just look forward to it so much every year. It's just an unbelievable atmosphere up here, and just so different from anywhere else. It's they're looking at probably 23,000 people here today, which is more than a quarter of the population of Darwin, so you can imagine what it's like.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? The sight from here with the marquees over in the centre with the sponsors, the Carlton United umbrellas there. It's just the place to be. We found ourselves a spot up under the tree. It's just magic, mate.
Yeah, well, that's what you've got to do. You've got to try and get out of the sun. It'll probably get to 32 degrees or thereabouts today, but it's probably there now. But it never ceases to amaze me that in the 10 years I've been coming here, the improvements. Well, 2 years ago, this grandstand wasn't here for a start. We're all whacking around under a tin roof, but the club's just gone ahead in leaps and bounds. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you got a best bet for us today?
Well, I did have Irish Symphony in the first, but I see it's come up at $1.20, so I think we might pass that and go with Maritime in the invitation race. It's absolutely flying up here, the Old Victorian.
All right, Brian, well, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to your calls throughout the afternoon. Greg, we'll hand it back to you. They're set at the Sunshine Coast.
Good on you, Paul. We'll speak to you shortly. They're just about set at the Sunshine Coast.
Hey, Queen. Number 4.
The Darwin Cup trackside reports are proudly brought to you by Valley Travel Tuggeranong. Escape the Canberra winter with a trip to the sunshine of Queensland. For further details, give Walter a call at Valley Travel on 6293 2900. Paul.
Thanks very much, Greg. Yes, welcome back here to Darwin, and we have the runners in the mounting before the running of the first. Just having a look through them. Merry Man is third up after a spell. It's the Western Australian speedster, now trained by Carey Wood up here in Darwin. Could be the one to beat. It looks a good chance in the race, ridden by Paul Denton, who finished second on the Jockeys Premiership here this year. Irish Symphony, certainly the one to beat. Odds on in the ring. 3 starts here in Darwin for 3 wins. Perfect record. Trained at Alice Springs prior to coming here. Did race in Victoria. Ken Ace not without a chance. It wasn't suited by the 100 last start. It's back to the 1,030 today. Another one with pace could be in the finish. Then we look at Savage. 2 starts this distance for 2 wins. Second and freshened ups might appreciate the shorter distance. And the final runner in the field looks outclassed here. It's a runner from trained over at Townsville by John Peterson, but not racing well enough at the moment. So we'll make it 2 Irish Symphony to win from 1 Merry Man, and 5 Savage will throw in for third. 2 from 1 and 5. The mounting comments here from Darwin, brought to us by Valley Travel.
Thanks very much, Paul. Just about set to Ralgan.
They're racing this time, and Irish Symphony and Merry Man, the 2 popular picks, have come out quickly. Ken Ace driving up on the inside from Savage and Sunset Walk. 900 metres out, and Merry Man takes over, leads by a little over a length to Irish Symphony on the outside of Ken Ace, then Sunset Walk, and 2.5, 3 last of all is Savage at the 700, the leader Merry Man. 3 parts of a length in front of Irish Symphony, 2 lengths further back Sunset Walk, going up to Ken Ace, and looking hopeless as Savage as they race to the turn. 500 metres out, and Merry Man with those big white bandages drew away here by a length and a quarter to Irish Symphony. His camp though on him, 2.5, 3 away Sunset Walk, Ken Ace, and then Savage as they come around the turn. 350 metres out, and Merry Man is clear. Irish Symphony on the outside now asked to go from Ken Ace. Sunset Walk made the turn badly down to the 200 metre mark. Merry Man, Irish Symphony on the outside is going up to join him now. Irish Symphony put his head in front of Merry Man. They're clear of Ken Ace, and it's Irish Symphony coming away now. Irish Symphony is going to win comfortably from Merry Man and Ken Ace. Irish Symphony 3 lengths. Merry Man second, 3 or 4 away third, Ken Ace, then Sunset Walk, and last in was Savage.
Winner there, number 2, and that's Irish Symphony. It's going to return a dividend of $1.80 and $1.10 over 1 Merry Man, $1.60, and no third for 3 Ken Ace. Numbers there should be 2, 1 and 3.
2, the winner, Irish Symphony, 160, 110. Number 1 was second, Merriman, $1.60, and no third for 3 Ken Ace. 2, 1, 3. Paul Langham starts off on the right foot, 1 from 1.
The numbers were 6, 3 and a dead heat 7 and 8 at the gate Sydney. 6
on race number. The Darwin Cup trackside reports are proudly brought to you by Valley Travel Tuggeranong. Now is the time to start planning your Melbourne Cup trip with packages available from only $435 per person, twin share. For further details, give Walter a call at Valley Travel on 6293 2900. Let's head to Darwin now and say a very good afternoon to Paul Langham.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, back here at Darwin, and we have the runners in the mounting before the running of race number 2 on the program. The favourite in the ring, Odds On, Tight Embrace, to be ridden by Paul Denton. Looks well in the mounting yard, as too does number 3 Centenary Express. There's not a lot of form over this distance of 1900, a lot of them stepping up in distance. Centenary Express has been running on well in its races, and maybe it could be the one to roll the favourite here. So we'll go for number 3 Centenary Express with Gary Clark aboard to beat the favourite, One Side Embrace. And number 6, I think it's pronounced Canoundra, Greg, or something similar to that, has been racing down in the Alice over a bit longer than these others have been. It's run over 1,810 metres at its last start and was placed there, or a few starts back. So they seem to think on track here that he'll be fit enough to run the distance. So we'll throw them in here, 3 to win from 1 and 6 for the running of race number 2, which comes up in about 6 minutes at 1:45.
How's the weather?
The weather is beautiful up here. I haven't got an accurate temperature reading, but I'd say about 32 degrees at the moment, Greg. And how's things back there? Around about 6 or 7 degrees?
Well, I've got the heater going on in the studio, so that's how cold it is.
You've got the heater on. Well, you certainly wouldn't need that little heater on up here.
All right, then. Thanks very much, Paul. We'll speak to you before the start of race number 3.
Looking forward to it. Just before you go, if we've got half a minute, Greg, I have got an early market on the Cup.
Yeah, moving up at the Valley.
Okay, well, I'll keep me on the Valley. Dynamic Tycoon at the moment is 3 to 1. Only Chance 10s. Sundance Kid at 8. Touch of Fantasy is each way at the 4 to 1. Belili at 6 to 1. Royal Consort at 7. Grandeur at 33. Law of the Land 12 to 1. Yellow Limit 8. Daybreak Treat is currently 12 to 1. Do Right is 16 to 1. And Lord Matthew, one of the emergencies, getting a run at 50 to 1. That's an early market on the Cup.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. They're just about set at Moonee Valley.
Inside, Hella Mays goes straight to the front. Centenary Express settles second, just in advance of Canoundra, who's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. Noble Sunset is between runners, and on the fence, getting the run of the race this early is Tight Embrace, the favourite. Well back then came Blushing Night, followed further afield, next to last by Rhythm Royale, and last of all is Carol Love. Not much pace on as they go over the crossing up the side, and the leader is Hella Mays. Leads by 3/4 of a length on Centenary Express, travelling second. Up in the box seat on the inside, then came Tight Embrace, a length and a half further back then to Noble Sunset. 2 lengths further afield, then came the ride of Darren Gauchi on the inside, Blushing Night, a half length off then to Canoundra. A length and 3/4 further afield, then to Carol Love, and dropping out is Rhythm Royale after about 5 or 6 lengths. It's a long last. Along the back they travel. A little over 1,000 metres left to go now. Not much change in the order, and Hella Mays holds pride of place in front. It leads by a length and 3/4 over Centenary Express. Tight Embrace just working away on the inside, is working closer gradually. Around the outside, then improving there. Further back then came Carol Love, and back on the inside of it there is Blushing Night from Canoundra. Noble Sunset up in that division as well, and dropping out a long last, you can forget about it, Rhythm Royale. Down the side, 600 metres left to go now, and Hella Mays still in front. They've got to catch this leader. He's kicked away about 2 lengths now, and Centenary Express under a bit of pressure. Then Tight Embrace on the inside. The favourite followed 2 lengths further back then by Blushing Night, Noble Sunset. The next one, Canoundra, and last of the main bunch, Carol Love. Forget Rhythm Royale. Into the straight they go, and Hella Mays has tried to lead all the way. It's in front now. Tight Embrace is off the fence, but squeezed up between runners. Centenary Express on the outside gets to the front now. Tight Embrace switched back to the inside, is coming home hard. Hella Mays is kicking on, and down the outside, Canoundra. Here's a great go. Centenary Express in front, nearing the line. Hella Mays fighting back. Tight Embrace the setter. Oh, they go to the line, locked together. Centenary Express. Centenary Express has beaten the favourite Tight Embrace. Hella Mays fought on gamely to get third. Next over the line then came Canoundra, followed further afield by Carol Love, Noble Sunset, then Blushing Night, and last of all was Rhythm Royale.
Number 3, Centenary Express, 880, 190, 1 Tight Embrace, 140, 4 Hella Mays, 150. We'll leave Kim there.
Paul Langham on fire. 3 Centenary Express, 650 and 160. Number 1, Tight Embrace, $1.30, and third 4 Hella Mays should return a $1.60. Canoundra, he's thrown that in for a place. It's run 4th at $31. All right. Okay, they don't pay for 4th. Let's go back to Randwick. Here's Ian.
Number 5 is Count Bobby.
In the good sports, and of course, the Darwin Cup trackside reports are proudly brought to you by Valley Travel Tuggeranong. Paul Langham.
Yes, indeed. Greg Hayes, thank you. And back here at Darwin, I have the man who called the last race for us here on Triple S, Kim Stewart, and of course well known to our listeners through the morning program. How are you, Kim?
I'm very well, thanks, Paul, and surprised to see you up here. What have you done to deserve this?
I don't know, I must have won the lottery or something. Yeah, Greg in the studio agrees with that comment. Yeah, he's sitting there in about 6 degrees with the heater on, and we're up here in beautiful Darwin. It's magic, isn't it?
It's absolutely sensational. I think it's about 32 degrees. The sweat's just dribbling down most people's necks, and it's a fine day. Look, there's so many people here, many marquees. There's a real carnival atmosphere. This is my first trip to Darwin. And I tell you what, whether I come up with 2KY next year or not, I'm definitely going to take holidays and get here, because this is a brilliant carnival, and it's a very, very good town, Paul. I can't believe that there are only 78,000 people here. They've got the infrastructure to handle 200,000. You drive in or you fly in, and it looks like a very, very large joint. But there's only 78,000 people here, and they're all here at the races today, aren't they? Having a good time.
Plenty of visitors in town. I think they're estimating about 25,000. So, you know, can you imagine that in Sydney or even Canberra? You know, a third of the population is at the races.
Well, you can't. You won't ever get it. It is a novelty up here. Although they do race every Saturday, this carnival is an absolute novelty. I've had a bit of a doozy. On Saturday, I caught a 1,900-metre race where the jockey was fined $2,000 for standing up in the irons just before the post. He mistook the infield screen as the winning post. He does come from Alice Springs, so I don't know whether he's seen a television before or not. But it cost him $2,000, and that was a driving finish to the line. And then it appears as though we do have a protest in this race here. A little bit of interference at the top of the straight, so it's all happening.
And they're both the long-distance races, and they're both close finishes.
Yes, tell you what, it takes them a long time to come down the straight here too, Paul. They come down 3 and 4 across the track, and it does take them a long time to get to the line on this track up here. But it's exciting racing. It doesn't matter. As long as it's exciting, it doesn't matter on the calibre of the horse or jockey, even though we do have some very good jockeys here. Look who's just walked in, Darren McCauley. You wouldn't believe it.
Darren McCauley from the West. He'd be more acclimatised to this sort of heat than Sydney and Canberra people. How are you, Darren?
Yeah, I'm terrific, thanks, but it was 0 degrees last Wednesday morning in Perth, so you talk about climatising to this sort of weather. Look, I love it. It's a chance to get up here and thaw out and really soak up what is, I think, one of the most rare forms of atmosphere on any race course that you could possibly go to. It's a delight to be here again, and it's always good to catch up with blokes like the big boy next to me.
Yeah, Kim Stewart. Of course, Brian Blackmore was here before. I said to Brian, "You're going down for a beer after the last." He said, "Mate, you wouldn't keep me away."
Yeah, it's the paper Catholic, mate.
Exactly, and it's just the right place for it, isn't it? I was just saying to Kim before you joined us that, you know, something like, they're expecting up to 25,000 people here today in a town of 78,000. You know, 1 in 3 people almost to go to the races.
Well, if they get 25,000 in here, I reckon that you wouldn't get a cigarette paper between them. I think if they got 20,000, they'd be absolutely thrilled, because I think that was the crowd they got here last year, and it was a bumper day, one of the best race meetings that I'd ever attended. You know, they do everything so well up here at the Darwin Turf Club. They know how to promote their carnival. They get the right people in town. They always bring the top jocks up to the top end, and the punters bet accordingly.
Right, and what a magnificent sight from up here in the broadcast point with the marquee, the grass in the centre.
Look at that magnificent sight down there. That is a magnificent sight, I can assure you.
And Kim's not looking at the there, that's for sure. But
those 2-legged fillies.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for joining us, fellas. Of course, Kim's already called his race. What race are you up for, Darren?
Well, I'm going to do one here for Sky Channel and the PA system, and then I'm going to come back over and do race 4 for Sport 927 in Melbourne, and then I'll be back again on race 5 and then 7 on the PA and Sky Channel. So they've got me working overtime on what's supposed to be a busman's holiday.
Yeah, well, they'll make you work for it, but I'm sure you'll join in the festivities after the last and this wonderful Darwin hospitality.
Look, it's the rarest. I don't think I've found anything comparable except Kalgoorlie. The people of the goldfields are as generous in their hospitality as the people of the top end. And the only difference that I have been able to probably glean on my 2 trips up here is the fact that you can be guaranteed of dream weather, in contrast to Kalgoorlie, which can be a touch fickle at this time of the year.
Just talking to one of the locals, they said, "What's up in the sky?" I said, "It looked like a few clouds." He said, "It never rains. They pass over."
Well, I said on radio in Perth this morning, a phenomenon had just occurred, and they asked me what it was, and I said I saw my first Northern Territory cloud.
Yep, I'd agree with that. I've only been once before and never saw a cloud that day, but it's just, as we said, it's just magic up here. And thanks for joining us, Darren. Good calling today.
Absolutely, thanks. Yeah, we'll need a bit of luck.
Good on you, mate. And Kim, thank you for joining us, and hopefully next race you get to call here. It won't be A, as close, and B, as controversial.
I know, we'll be looking forward to it, and I can tell you one thing that Kalgoorlie doesn't have is Christo's Seafood Restaurant, where Darren and I dined last night. It is the world's best.
Yeah, can we give them a plug?
We can give them a plug,
I don't normally give, well, I say that, but I don't mean it. Christo's Seafood Restaurant, if you ever get to the top end, is the finest seafood restaurant that I've had the pleasure of dining at. Christo himself made the evening so special for the race callers last night. In fact, he embarrassed us with what he was able to put on the table. And in fact, if it wasn't for Kim Stewart, who is a fair dick and weight for age performer at the Tucker table, there would have been a lot of happy seagulls around this morning, I can tell you that, because it was magnificent, and we always look forward to going to Christo's on the Wharf. It's a real landmark in Darwin, and you should do yourself a favour. Take a tip on a racetrack, get along there at some stage in the next day or two.
Good on you, fellas. Thanks for joining us. And, well, why not head on down, Greg, to Valley Travel, our good sponsors down there at Tuggeranong today. Book yourself a trip to Darwin and head to Christo's Seafood Restaurant.
Sounds good, mate. We'll let you get away from there. The jockeys have just left the stewards' room there at Darwin, so protest results not too far away.
Good on you, Greg, and we'll catch up with you before the running of the next year from Fanny Bay Racecourse in Darwin, with thanks to Valley Travel at Tuggeranong.
Good on you, Paul. Thanks very much. Race 4 from the Sunshine Coast as they get set. One brought to you by Valley Travel Tuggeranong. If you're a golf fan, head to Melbourne for the President's Cup in December on the President's Cup Package Tour. For further details, give Walter a call at Valley Travel on 6293 2900. Here's Paul.
Good, thanks again, Greg. Yes, back here at the Darwin Racecourse at Fanny Bay, and we've got the runners coming onto the track for race number 3, the Wolf Blast Lightning Plate, over 1,030 metres. A few of these runners had a run Saturday in the principal sprint race of the year up here in Darwin, the Palmerston Sprint. And just looking at the form, I've steered away from the ones that ran in the Palmerston. I'm going to go with number 3, Keys Jester here. Will be fresh for this race. Missed the Palmerston on Saturday. Is an 1,100 metre specialist, so the 1,030 should suit. And it is the fresh horse in the race. For second, we'll put number 6, Tambin Lad, can't be left out. Was second last start over this 1,100 metre journey. And for third, we might throw in number 8, Fantastic Girl, down in the weights, a little one trained down at Alice Springs with Les Beer aboard. So we'll make it 3 from 6 and 8. And Greg, maybe the omen tip here could be Dry and Sober.
Yeah, well, something you won't be after the last.
Oh, mate, we'll have a big one. OK, Greg, well, that's it, and we'll be back after this third event to catch up with you more. And, of course, these reports are brought to you by our good friends down there at Valley Travel down at Tuggeranong.
All right, then, and it's been great throughout the day, Paul, that we've been able to catch up with the likes of Darren McCauley and also Kim Stewart, so make sure you continue that throughout the day.
Yeah, we'll catch up with as many people as we can here at Darwin under, well, a little overcast now. There's a few clouds around, which is unusual for up here, but the temperature's still up around 30 degrees, and I presume that heater's still working overtime in the studio there, Greg.
Yeah, you have a drink for me.
I'll have a couple for you, mate.
Thank you. Paul Lagan there, and we better head back to Randwick now. Here's Ian.
Off now, and missing it, Kiev Prince by a couple. It stumbled out, and first out County Council, Dry and Sober, Keys Jester. Fantastic Girl driving through, Tambin Lad dropping back to second last, and Kiev Prince tacking up, going up on the inside. 800 out, and County Council leads Fantastic Girl, who rails up to join it, a length to Gold Apache. Then Dry and Sober on the outside of it, stablemate Keys Jester, 3 away Tambin Lad, and on the inside of it was Kiev Prince inside the 600. Fantastic Girl a neck in front. County Council is second, closing on the outside, Gold Apache. Out 3 deep as it makes its run in the centre, Dry and Sober, Keys Jester. Now Tambin Lad tacking on. They've dropped off the other one. Kiev Prince on the turn, 350 out, and Fantastic Girl joined by Gold Apache. Over on the inside, Keys Jester getting through and warming up. Tambin Lad down the outside, 200 metres out, and Gold Apache just in front. Dry and Sober in the centre. Tambin Lad on the outside, Dry and Sober. Tambin Lad the outside, Gold Apache. Dry and Sober in front. Tambin Lad lunging at it. Dry and Sober's in front. Dry and Sober's won. A half-length Tambin Lad who died on its run. Gold Apache third. Fourth in Keys Jester. Then Fantastic Girl, County Council, and last Kiev Prince.
And winner number 1, Dry and Sober, 1070 and 360. 6 Tambin Lad at 210, no third, 2 Gold Apache.
Sounds like the omen tip got there. Number 1, Dry and Sober, 790 and 290. Number 6 was second, Tambin Lad, $1.90, and no third for 2 Gold Apache.
Be a thing of the past. It ran fourth in the Palmerston here on Saturday. Tambin Lad beat it home, but over the slightly shorter course, Tambin Lad hasn't been able to pick it up. As a matter of fact, it probably petered out on its run, Tambin Lad, about 50 metres from home. And Dry and Sober has held it at bay by Sober Star out of Gallica Rose, and Allownder Bay mare, former Victorian again, raced by Miss C. Hunter, trained here in Darwin by Ken Rogerson, who of course was previously based in the Alice. As a matter of fact, he's still in the Alice. They've got him down in the book here as Darwin, but of course he's still in Alice Springs.
Race 6 from Randwick. Let's take a look at the openers there. Number 1. Good afternoon, Paul Langham once again.
Thanks again, Greg. Yes, up here at well, not so much sunshine at the moment. It's just hiding behind a couple of clouds, but might be keeping the temperature down a little, but still a balmy around 30 degrees. And I'm joined by Sky Channel's Matt Browning. How are you, Matt?
I'm very well, Paul. Gee, it's a little bit different up here, isn't it, to what we're used to down in New South Wales. Coming from Sydney, I think when I flew out of Sydney on Thursday, it was about 14 degrees. It probably was even worse for you coming from Canberra. But I've acclimatised pretty well, and I tell you what, I'm not complaining being up here in what 32 or 33 degree temperatures. It's fantastic.
Beautiful, isn't it? And how's the telecast going for Sky Channel today?
It's gone very well. We actually brought up a big crew. Sky Channel has a lot to do with telecasting the Darwin Cup, so we've probably had about 6 or 7 people coming up, setting up this day, so everything went according to plan. Also, 2 of our top executives are here. Warren Wilson, who's the Chief Executive of Sky Channel, and Mike Cleary, who many of your listeners would be familiar. They came up yesterday, went and had a look around Kakadu, and they're out at the races today. So, yeah, the broadcast is going well. We've spoken to a few of the bigger name jockeys that are here so far, and of course a few of the locals. I mean, considering Sky Channel's national, they're of as much interest to people in you know, those communities as Jim Cassidy is Australia-wide as well. So no, it's going fine.
That's for sure, and of course exciting times coming up for Sky with the service going into the home soon.
It's probably the most exciting thing that's happened to Sky Channel in the 12 years that they've been telecasting races. I mean, we take it for granted to be able to go down to the pub or the races and look up on a screen and there's a race. But now we're going to be able to turn on the TV in our lounge room, and there's going to be a racing service that will be second to none. That starts on the 5th of September, so we're the 3rd of August today. We're about a month away from our first broadcast. That'll include Randwick. It's Chelmsford Stakes Day. We're also taking racing from Brisbane on that particular occasion. That night we'll be doing the dogs at Wentworth Park and the trots at Albion Park. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be the biggest thing that's happened to racing probably in the last 10 or 20 years. I mean, racing in the home, it's just going to be enormous.
That's for sure, and another factor with it, it can introduce new people to racing that mightn't have experienced before.
I think that's probably the biggest issue that Sky Channel management have looked at. They are trying to encourage new people to into the racing industry. I mean, you know, we've got to also look at introducing a bigger female audience, and we'll be catering to that as well. It'll be a little bit different to the current Sky Channel service. I mean, you watch Sky Channel down at the pub on a Saturday afternoon, one race is over and another one's ready to jump, but the Sky Channel home service will probably only cover 3 or 4 meetings a day, so there'll be a lot more time to do some nice little stories. You know, if there's a fashions on the field out here at on Darwin Cup Day, we'll be able to have a bit of time for that, and as you say, that will, I'm sure, attract a lot more people into the game, and that's what racing needs, more people.
That's for sure, Matthew. Okay, well, it can only be good for the industry as a whole. We wish you luck with the venture, Sky Channel, and that. And here at Darwin today, you're no doubt enjoying the hospitality.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's been one of the busiest weeks. We got here on Thursday. We had the Carbine Club lunch Thursday, the cocktail party at Parliament House Friday. The ball was enormous on Saturday night.
Now, we seem to have lost the boys. The mobile battery may have dropped out. Yep, there it is. That was bad luck too. It was going very well. Matthew Browning and Paul Langham. That was a shame, but they're just about set Randwick for the next.
Yes, I think we might have just. Yes, I think we might have just missed the very end of that interview with Matt. For some reason we dropped out, but never mind. Matt was pleased to join us here on Trip. Thank him for his time, and we'll be back very shortly after Randwick to have a look at the horses in the yard with thanks to Valley Travel at Tuggeranong.
Just about set Randwick. Here's Ian. For golfers, Escape Randwick. Here's Ian. For golfers, escape Canberra's winter with a trip to Sanctuary Cove on the Gold Coast on a tour that includes unlimited games of golf. For further details, give Walter a call at Valley Travel on 6293 2900. Paul.
Thanks, Greg, and we must send a cheerio to Walter and all the crew down there at Valley Travel in Tuggeranong. I'm sure they're having a great day down there. Here at Darwin, we've had a look at them for the next race, and we've come up with 3 main chances in it. Swapping the top weight was third last start over the 1200 here, back a little to 1030. Gary Clark aboard, trained locally, could be the one to beat. Down on the board a little, Magic Weasel came late to grab our little Royal on the line last Wednesday here to break its maiden, and it's been shaping well over the carnival, so it could be included in the chances. Voodoo Valley, a last start winner here at Darwin over 1300, and Alice Springs galloper, S. Burrows aboard. put that in as a chance. And if you want to throw a roughie in, number 13, Snappin' Saleri was backed at its debut. It finished a bit down the track, but of course they did put some money on, backed it into favouritism at its debut run, number 13, Snappin' Saleri, and was down to race Saturday, missed that race to run today. So we'll put them in as the main chances, Greg. 1, 4, 6 and a chance to 13 as a roughie.
I'm sure number 12, Arrogant Gent, might have done its earlier racing here.
Arrogant Gent did it? Number 12, all right. It could very well have, I think, around that region, yes,
Yeah,
Greg.
and race 7 at Darwin this afternoon. Number 5, Sunjammer. It's a scratching, but of course it was trained by Gary Kirkup and ran around these parts.
That's right, it did too, yeah. Scratched today, but was the second last start, actually, Sunjammer up here at Darwin, so it's doing all right up here in the territory.
Yeah, likes the warmer weather.
Yeah, must do, Greg.
Bit like you. You seem to be performing better.
Fair enough. Good on you, Greg.
Yeah, speak to you before the start of the next. The time is 9 minutes past 3. They're just about set for the next event at Darwin. Let's go back to Fred.
Craig, there was a bit of...
Gates open now, however, they're off and racing. Sway Fan lurched in the air, missed the kick, and so did Snappin' Saleri, the favourite National Hero. Best out from Bowline. Dragnet commenced very quickly. Nicky Boy rushing forward, followed by Arrogant Gent, Voodoo Valley, and then came Magic Weasel, followed by on the inside Our Little Royal. About 2 lengths away then to Sway Fan and Snappin' Saleri, 6 lengths off behind them as they race out of the back, going up to the first turn. At the 600, Cassidy has National Hero in front from Bowline, trying to draw on equal terms, a length and a half. Nicky Boy, a bit more than 2 lengths. Magic Weasel going up nicely behind them from Arrogant Gent, followed over on the rails by Dragnet, Our Little Royal. Well back Voodoo Valley, you can forget Sway Fan and also Snappin' Saleri. Bowline out after National Hero, under the whip from Cassidy on straightening. Let him down, he quickly got away from Bowline. National Hero hugging the fence down to the 200. Broke 4 in front from Bowline, then Magic Weasel. The favourite home and hose though, National Hero drawing right away. And Cassidy's going to punch home his first Darwin winner for the carnival. Down to the line, National Hero has won it by about 5 lengths on Bowline. Our Little Royal in a photo for third with Magic Weasel. Then a break in the field to Voodoo Valley, Nicky Boy, Dragnet, then Sway Pan, Arrogant Gent, and tailed off last of all was Snappin' Saleri.
Winner there, number 3, National Hero, 271.32, Bowline, 220, maybe 11, Our Little Royal at 360.
3, National Hero, 281.60. Number 2, Bowline, $2.20. For third, 11, Our Little Royal, 3 even. Or number 4, Magic Weasel at $2.50. Freddie suggesting 3, 2 and 11. Just about set at the Sunshine Coast for the Darwin Cup. Trackside reports are proudly brought to you by Valley Travel at Tuggeranong. The racing action hots up in Hong Kong later this year, so be there trackside at Happy Valley or Sha Tin. For further details, give Walter a call at Valley Travel on 6293 2900. Let's go to Paul Langham at the track.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. The runners are coming out onto the track here at Darwin for race number 5. We're 2 minutes away from a start, which is due at 10 minutes to 4. And the ones that look best in the mounting yard here, we had Blazing Feathers. It is the favourite in the race, I think, still on the Super Tab. Is that right, Greg?
Sorry there, mate?
Blazing Feathers, still the favourite on the Super Tab at the moment?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, it's been well performed around the Alice Springs area. It does look the one to beat here with 2 wins and a third of its previous 3 outings. Others in the market but look a chance. So Excited is the track record holder, actually, over the 1300 here at Darwin. Last 3 runs have been down the track, but it should race on the pace and back to its favourite distance here. And Landlord also looks a chance. 3 starts back was second to Glacier Bay here over this distance at Fanny Bay. So we'll make the selections in the next here out of Darwin. But thanks to our good friends at Valley Travel at Tuggeranong, we'll make it number 2, Blazing Feathers to win from So Excited number 5, and we'll put in 6, Landlord for third.
You caught me on the hop.
I did. What's happening there?
I was getting a cup of coffee.
You're getting a cup of coffee to warm you up on a cold Canberra day.
Very much so.
Yeah. Good on you, Greg, and we'll catch up with you very soon for more trackside reports, thanks to Walter and all the crew at Valley Travel.
The next at Darwin, Paul, it's a big one. It's the Invitation Plate. A lot of the big-name jockeys are up there. Good to see Jim Cash.